Welcome to Lesson 2.4 of the Grant Architect course. In this lesson, we will explore keyword triangulation, a research technique that uses varied terminology to uncover funding opportunities that simple searches might miss. The nonprofit and philanthropic sectors use diverse vocabulary to describe similar work. What you call food security, another organization might call hunger relief, and a funder might label nutritional access. If you only search using your preferred terminology, you may miss opportunities described in different terms. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to develop comprehensive search vocabularies, use multiple terms strategically across databases, and uncover opportunities that others might miss due to limited keyword usage. The vocabulary challenge arises because the same concepts are described with different words across the philanthropic sector. Multiple terms exist for most areas of work. Workforce development, job training, employment services, career pathways, and economic mobility might all describe related work. A search using only one term misses opportunities described with others. Funder language may differ from applicant language. Funders develop their own vocabularies for describing priorities. They may use terms that differ from how practitioners in the field describe their work. Understanding funder language helps you identify relevant opportunities and frame your applications effectively. Evolving vocabulary means terms change over time as fields evolve. What was once called juvenile delinquency prevention might now be called youth development or positive youth development. Older funders might use older terminology while newer funders use current terms. Both should be searched. Database coding affects how information is categorized and searchable. Database staff assign codes and categories to foundation information. Their coding decisions affect what searches find. Understanding how databases categorize information helps you search effectively. Building a comprehensive vocabulary list is the first step in keyword triangulation. Core terms are your primary vocabulary for describing your work. What terms does your organization use most frequently? These are your starting point, but should not be your ending point. List the key terms you would naturally use. Synonyms are alternative words with similar meanings. For each core term, brainstorm synonyms and near synonyms. Use a thesaurus as a starting point. Ask colleagues how they would describe the same concepts. List variations you might not naturally use, but others might. Related concepts include broader and narrower terms in your field. If you work on diabetes prevention, related concepts include chronic disease prevention at a broader level and nutrition education or physical activity promotion at narrower levels. Related terms may capture funding that supports your work. Funder terms are language funders commonly use that may differ from practitioner language. Review funder websites, RFPs, and guidelines to identify their preferred vocabulary. Foundation annual reports often reveal the language foundations use to describe their priorities. Let us examine an example of vocabulary development in the food and nutrition sector. Direct terms include hunger, food security, food insecurity, nutrition, and food access. These terms directly describe the core issue and would be most people's first search terms. All should be searched, but stopping here misses opportunities. Related terms include food desert, which describes geographic access issues, food justice, which frames the issue in equity terms, nutritional health, which connects to health outcomes, and food sovereignty, which emphasizes community control. These terms may appear in funding opportunities focused on related aspects of the issue. Population-specific terms like child nutrition, senior nutrition, and family food assistance target specific populations. Funders focused on children, elderly, or families might use these population-specific terms rather than general food security language. Intervention terms like food bank, food pantry, SNAP outreach, and nutrition education describe specific program approaches. Funders might categorize opportunities by intervention type rather than issue area. Searching intervention terms captures these opportunities. A comprehensive search strategy would use all of these terms across relevant databases. Let us examine vocabulary development for youth development work. Direct terms include youth development, youth services, and adolescent programming. These contemporary terms describe the field directly and should be searched. Historical terms include juvenile services, delinquency prevention, and at-risk youth. While these terms may seem outdated, Some funders, particularly government programs and older foundations, may still use them. Searching historical terms can surface opportunities using older vocabulary. Positive frame terms include youth leadership, youth empowerment, and youth engagement. The field has shifted toward positive, strengths-based framing. Many funders now prefer language emphasizing youth assets rather than deficits. These terms capture that shift. Context terms include after-school, out-of-school time, summer programs, and mentoring. These describe contexts where youth development occurs. Funders might frame opportunities around context rather than youth development as a concept. Searching context terms captures these opportunities. The vocabulary list for any field should include direct terms, historical terms, current framing terms, and context-specific terms. A systematic search approach ensures you capture opportunities across your full vocabulary. Creating a master list means compiling comprehensive vocabulary before beginning systematic searching. Gather terms from brainstorming, thesaurus review, funder document analysis, and colleague input. Having the complete list before searching ensures you search comprehensively. Searching each term involves running separate searches for each significant term in your vocabulary. While this takes more time than a single search, it captures opportunities that single-term searches miss. For important prospect research, thorough searching justifies the additional effort. Tracking results documents which search terms produce which results. Some terms may yield many relevant results while others yield few. Understanding term productivity helps you prioritize future searching and identify which terms most effectively capture relevant opportunities. Refining over time adds new terms as you discover them. When you find an opportunity described with terminology not on your list, add that term. When you read funder documents using unfamiliar vocabulary, add those terms. Your vocabulary list should grow through experience. Cross-database triangulation applies varied vocabulary across different databases. Different databases may use different vocabularies for the same concepts. Grants.gov uses CFDA categories and federal terminology. Foundation Directory Online uses Candid's taxonomy. ProPublica reflects how foundations describe themselves in 990S. Understanding these differences helps you search effectively in each database. Complementary searching uses varied terms across databases. A term that produces few results in one database might be more productive in another. Searching multiple databases with multiple terms maximizes your coverage. Gap identification finds opportunities that one database misses. A foundation might be well documented in Foundation Directory Online but missing from state databases, or vice versa. Cross-database searching fills gaps that any single database might have. Comprehensive coverage results from combined cross-database, cross-vocabulary searching. While this approach requires more effort than simple searching, it yields more complete results. For important prospect research, comprehensive coverage is worth the investment. Boolean operators allow sophisticated searching that combines multiple terms efficiently. Or searches combine multiple terms so that results include any of the terms. Searching food security or hunger or nutrition returns results containing any of these terms. Or searches help when you want to capture multiple variations in a single search. And searches require multiple criteria simultaneously. Searching youth and employment returns only results containing both terms. And searches help narrow results when individual terms are too broad. You might search for your issue area and your geographic region. Not searches exclude irrelevant terms from results. If searching health returns many results about healthcare financing that are not relevant, you might search health not insurance, not healthcare financing to exclude those results. Not searches help filter irrelevant results. Phrase searches find exact multi-word phrases. Searching for food security as a phrase finds that exact term rather than documents that happen to contain food somewhere and security somewhere. Phrase searches help when your target terms are multi-word phrases. Not all databases support all Boolean operators identically. Check database help documentation to understand how each database handles Boolean searching. Learning funder vocabulary helps you both find opportunities and frame applications effectively. RFP analysis studies how funders describe their priorities in funding announcements. What terms appear repeatedly? How do they frame the issues they want to address? The vocabulary in RFPs reveals what language resonates with funders. Annual report review examines language in foundation publications. How do foundations describe their work and priorities? What terms do they use to categorize their giving? Annual reports provide insight into foundation self-conception and preferred vocabulary. Website review notes terminology on funder websites. How do funders organize their websites? What categories do they use? What terms appear in their mission statements and priority descriptions? Websites reveal current funder vocabulary. Grant description examination looks at how funded grants are described. When foundations describe their grantees and funded projects, what language do they use? This reveals terms foundations use to characterize work they value. Learning funder vocabulary helps you search effectively and speak funders' language in applications. Expanding your vocabulary beyond your immediate field uncovers additional opportunities. Adjacent fields are related areas that might fund aspects of your work. An organization focused on early childhood education might find opportunities from child health funders, family support funders, or workforce development funders interested in childcare for working parents. Thinking about adjacent fields expands your prospect pool. Cross-cutting themes span multiple fields and might capture your work. Equity, systems change, community engagement, and capacity building are themes that appear across funding areas. Searching these themes might reveal opportunities not captured by issue-specific searches. Population overlaps identify funders focused on populations you serve. If you serve immigrant communities, search for immigration-focused funders regardless of their issue focus. If you serve rural communities, search for rural development funders. Population-focused funders might support various types of work serving their priority populations. Geographic priorities identify funders focused on your location regardless of topic. Community foundations, local family foundations, and place-based funders might support various types of work in their geographic focus areas. Geographic searches complement issue-based searches. Documenting your vocabulary system ensures you can build on previous work and share knowledge. A master term list maintains an updated compilation of search terms for your work. Organize terms by category, core terms, synonyms, related concepts, population terms, intervention terms, and funder-specific terms. Update the list as you discover new terms. A search log tracks which terms you have searched in which databases. Without documentation, you may research terms you have already covered or miss terms you intended to search. Logs prevent duplication and ensure coverage. Results notes document which terms are productive versus unproductive. If a term consistently yields few relevant results, you might deprioritize it. If a term consistently yields strong prospects, you might prioritize it. Learning from results improves future searching efficiency. Evolution tracking notes how vocabulary changes over time. As fields evolve, terminology shifts. Tracking these shifts helps you maintain current vocabulary while retaining historical terms that older funders may still use. Understanding common mistakes helps you triangulate effectively. Too narrow searching uses only a few terms and misses opportunities described differently. If you only search your 3 most common terms, you may miss significant opportunities using other vocabulary. Comprehensive vocabulary lists prevent this mistake. Too broad searching uses so many terms that results become overwhelming and unmanageable. While comprehensive searching is valuable, you need to manage scope. Prioritize terms likely to yield relevant results. Use Boolean operators to focus broad searches. Inconsistent searching varies approach without systematic tracking. Searching different terms in different databases at different times without documentation makes it impossible to know what you have covered. Systematic approaches with documentation prevent inconsistency. Static vocabulary does not update as language evolves. Fields change, new terminology emerges, and funder vocabulary shifts. If your vocabulary list remains unchanged for years, it becomes outdated. Regular vocabulary review and updating maintains effectiveness. Building organizational vocabulary systems helps the whole organization search effectively. Team input gathers terms from multiple staff members. Different people may use different terms for similar concepts. Program staff may use different vocabulary than development staff. Gathering input from multiple perspectives builds more comprehensive vocabulary. Shared resources create accessible vocabulary lists and search guides. Store vocabulary documents where team members can access and contribute to them. Shared resources prevent duplication of effort and ensure everyone benefits from accumulated vocabulary knowledge. Ongoing additions build in processes for adding new terms. When anyone discovers a productive new term, there should be a simple process for adding it to shared resources. Systems that grow through collective contribution become more valuable over time. Knowledge transfer documents vocabulary for organizational learning. When staff members leave, they take vocabulary knowledge with them, unless it has been documented. Written vocabulary resources preserve organizational learning and help new staff get up to speed quickly. Vocabulary knowledge supports both research and communication strategy. Search planning uses vocabulary lists to plan systematic prospect research. Before beginning a research push, review your vocabulary and plan which terms to search in which databases. Vocabulary-informed planning yields more comprehensive, efficient research. Application framing uses funder vocabulary in proposals. When you understand how funders describe their priorities, you can frame your applications using their language. This does not mean misrepresenting your work, but rather describing it in terms that resonate with specific funders. Communication alignment matches language to different audiences. Different funders, partners, and stakeholders may respond to different vocabulary. Understanding vocabulary variation helps you communicate effectively with diverse audiences. Strategic positioning uses resonant terms to position your work effectively. As vocabulary in your field evolves, consider how you describe your work. Using current resonant vocabulary positions your organization effectively without changing your actual work. Let us summarize what we have covered in this lesson on keyword triangulation. The core concept is that the same concepts are described with different vocabulary across the philanthropic sector. Funders, databases, and different practitioners use different terms. Single-term searches miss opportunities described with other vocabulary. The key skill is building comprehensive term lists for systematic searching. This includes core terms, synonyms, related concepts, population terms, intervention terms, and funder-specific vocabulary. Comprehensive vocabulary lists enable thorough prospect research. Application involves cross-database, cross-vocabulary triangulation. Search multiple terms across multiple databases to capture opportunities that simple searches miss. Document your searching to ensure comprehensive coverage and avoid duplication. In our next lesson, we will begin a two-part exploration of IRS Form 990. Part 1 will cover accessing public tax records through GuideStar, Candid, and ProPublica, and understanding basic foundation information including assets and board composition. Form 990 analysis is essential for foundation research, providing ground truth about what foundations actually fund.